pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Just lay down.
Now,
It's 7 a.m.
it's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
I don't know what's going to come from it long term. I don't know what these events will look like in the past, or if they'll even be in the future, or they'll even be in the future. I'm not going to sit here and preach at you for 3 hours, but I also feel that it would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge it off the top. But I think we all sat around for at least, I don't know, whether it was a few minutes or a few hours yesterday and stared at what was going on in Kansas City as people, fans, families, kids, adults, older, younger people, a city got together to celebrate something that was insanely enjoyable. That is, and I say all the time, nothing brings out crowds like sports do. That's why people love winning. And have it interrupted and destroyed and marred by a shooting. And as of now, 1 person dead, 21 wounded, gunfire in Kansas City at the Chiefs Parade. Good morning to you and Merry Thursday. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Guys, I don't know that in this format, certainly, that we're going to, well, I know we're not going to spend 3 hours today. I also don't think that there's, I try to start this show every morning with the biggest story. What happened yesterday, and let's recap and let's move forward. And I don't think that there's any other way to go than acknowledging and just talking through feelings and thoughts, and we'll move on. And I hope you guys are okay with it. And I know it's you know, it hits home. But I'm gonna share mine. I'm gonna ask for you. How you guys doing, by the way?
Doing all right.
You all right back there?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't watch the parade. Midday, you see the alerts, and you know, I got the TV on in my office, and you start watching it, and I don't know where your thoughts go. I don't know if your thoughts go to where can I go? Can I go to a game? Can I go to a parade? Can I go to an event? Can I go to an airport? Can I go to a mall? Can I go? And this isn't the first mass shooting. I think we're 45 days into the year, and we got 47 mass shootings in this country already. And I'm not going to sit here and preach gun control at you or mental health issues. I mean, look, we all understand what's going on. I don't know how. I guess the reality is we all take our lives in our hands when we walk out the door, right? And you go to something. I don't have answers. I have a phone line. We can talk through things, but I sat there just sickened. And not that this one is any more tragic than a school shooting or a mall shooting or anything. But certainly for what we do on a daily basis, it hits and you know, it hits closer for, you know, if you have people that were there. And what were you guys' thoughts when you heard it? Did you watch a ton of it? Did you just kind of sift through and move on?
This one that I'm confused. Like there's reports like multiple shooters, but was it a fight that broke out? Then people got in the way. Like just what? Just left with a lot of what happened. Like what actually went on? Because you just see those numbers and
we don't know what kind of weapons, what kind of motives,
just, And everything that you just laid out, you see it, you're shocking. As it kind of, you thought, oh, more and more people got hurt throughout the day, and it's devastating because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
here we go again.
And now what? I've never been to a victory parade. I know you guys have, right? And that's kind of where I was going to lean on you guys a little bit. I've been to big events. I've been to the Rose Parade. I've been to, I don't know that it's insanely different. The vibe is different. You're there for different reasons. You guys have both been to these things, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of where I went to you. And if you're there with your kids and you're, what do you do? Where do you go? Why? How do you explain it? What's the conversation you have, assuming you are fortunate enough to get home last night? You know what I mean? How's that conversation go? How do you explain to your child what you just experienced, what you went through, how cool this was, and you got to see Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and all your heroes there. And yay, and we're going to do 3 in a row and pop, 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 pop. And people are going, Daddy, what's going on? And you don't know. And then, if you're fortunate enough to get home that night, where does that conversation go? Do you go next year or whenever the next one is? Right? My mind went so many different ways. And I honestly, I thought of both of you guys because I know you've both been to these and you both have young kids.
Yeah, it's honestly, I don't overthink it.
Yeah, and I did.
Like I'm not sitting here like going, what happens if I go to the grocery store today? What happens if we're at the mall today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that crosses your mind, but
and I did. Now it's not going to stop me from going to the grocery store, or going to the mall, or going to the fashion show tonight, or whatever event you've got going on. It won't. But it's still in the back of my mind. How you living back there? You all right?
It has been a weird day. As most people know at this point, I did spend some time in Kansas City. I knew a lot of people that were there, my sister included. What's tough is I kind of have a protocol now with these things that's happened so many times in Colorado. It's like I have to look at the last names at some point, and I'm just so worried I'm going to recognize one. And so that,
Of the victims.
yeah, and it's a terrible feeling.
And you did not.
I know what the one, and I didn't know her personally, but she was in the radio
The
business.
DJ, her name is Lisa Lopez Galvan. She went by Lisa G on the radio, and she is the deceased.
Yeah,
She was a DJ at one of the radio stations there.
Every kid in Kansas City had off yesterday. I mean,
So I'm saying you're encouraged to go out there. You're encouraged to go out and celebrate and have a good time. And I'm not looking for puns here. I'm certainly not. It's a Taylor Swift song. This is why we can't have nice things, right? I don't know what we are anymore, and maybe I do know what we are, and it sickens me. And the thing is, the majority of us, I do not believe, are that, right? I mean, the majority of those people, and would they estimate 1 million people out there?
it was a big number. I think it was around 1 million.
Yeah. Right. And they have 3 people in custody. I don't know what the number is going to be. They don't even. There's no motive. There's no weapons that I've seen anywhere. There's no. Not that it matters, but it kind of matters, doesn't it? Is it going to matter to you if this was a premeditated mass shooting or a conflict between 2-3 people or 2 groups or whatever? Is it going to matter to you?
Well, not the people that got shot.
Well, certainly.
Yes. Because then because it's security concerns. Was there something you missed leading up to that? Things like that.
Yeah, I don't know how you secure.
But I mean, if it was a
Yeah.
plan, something was there. Sometimes social media, like those
Right.
are the things. They'll
Right.
discuss.
Did we miss something? We go into an event, right? You go into a stadium. We all go through metal detectors. It's just the way it is now. In fact, there was a conversation we had around the bowl game this year. Well, we might be able to speed up getting people in. You don't have to have metal detectors. I'm like, you know what? Let's not waive that. I know it takes a long time to get in, and let's just be better at it. You know what I mean? Because I just couldn't sit here and rectify if something happened. Well, they didn't have metal detectors at this event. They do it all I just couldn't do it. I had to make that call. And I think it's the right one. And it sickens me that it is. This is in the middle of the city. There's no ticketing to get in. There's people just everywhere. You can't control that. we've evolved, but we've so devolved. And I don't even know if we've devolved. This wasn't an issue. Are you familiar with the Boomtown Rats song, I Don't Like Mondays? Tell me why I don't like Mondays. I'm gonna shoot the whole day down. Okay, it's a song from I don't know. Maybe it's the 80s. Maybe it could even be the 70s. And the song is about a school shooting. Somebody went to a school and killed somebody, and it was such an anomaly. It was such a unbelievably tragic, shocking, stunning event. And the Boomtown Rats wrote a song, and it was a hit, and it's still played. And now there was another one. The sun came up today. Yeah, there was another. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have the answer. And everybody's okay. We got to stop selling guns, and we got to have better mental health, and we have to, and there might be some or none truth in all of that, because I don't even know what happened. I just wanted to talk it through, to be honest with you. Like, honestly,
It's helpful.
I don't want to spend all day on this. There's a lot going on, and especially in this genre and in this format. But this was a sports-related event, and I don't know. Should there be parades?
Yeah.
There should.
Yeah.
I don't think I disagree. I mean, where are you? You're a little slower.
Asking me that today is,
I know. No, I know.
It's interesting. I considered that, like, how much exposure do you really have when you have 1 million people in one
It's gigantic
dense
exposure.
area?
I mean, it's the softest of soft targets.
Exactly. 800 cops is not. They're doing a great job. The officers there did what they could, but I mean, obviously, 1 million people, you just can't control that with 800.
I know it's become a right or a privilege or whatever. Your team wins and you throw them a parade, right? And I don't know that it was always like that, was it? I mean, was that like in the last 20 years? Ish? 25?
It's a good question, actually. I know it's been a thing for quite some time, but I don't think it's the entirety of the Super Bowl era.
Back in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it costs cities to do this, and I don't know the details of it, but I know the FBI was in on this and the security. Look, I'm not going to say because you had one shooting at one event, you got to cancel them all, right? The Boston Marathon thing, right? The Boston Marathon continued to happen. But I mean, events like that, look, if there's going to be people out there that want to do harm, there's going to be people who are going to do harm. And so the answer is what? I mean, I don't know. You live your life and you act accordingly, and there's going to be tragedy. And in the era in which we live, it's just different than it was in the past. And you can tell me everything's better than it was then. Transportation, communication, technology, everything's better. Well, it sure as hell isn't better, and music isn't better. But, all right. That's it. I'm not looking to get on a soapbox and tell you what to do and what not to do and how to live your life. And I just wanted to acknowledge it, you guys. In the first segment, we can hit it as much or as little as our listeners want to do that today. All I want to acknowledge it. I want to send our best. And, I heard thoughts and prayers, and I just, golly, you guys, is it wrong that thoughts and prayers is one of the most hollow sayings to me? I hear it just,
It feels really copy and paste.
That's such a great way to put it. That's the best way. I've been looking for the right way to say it. Yes. Does it feel that same way to you?
Yeah.
I just, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, okay, whatever. And you move on to the next tragedy. But deepest thoughts. Like, and I know you've got people there, man, sending love, sending good thoughts, sending whatever it is you can do from here, whatever you believe in, whatever your faith is, whatever you think sends strength. If it's in you, send it, help people out. But this one hits close for a lot of us, some more than others. But every one of us can see ourselves there. If it was your team, I mean, you guys, right when the Nuggets won, you thought about going up to the parade, didn't you?
Did, and they had an issue up there as well.
They had a shooting up there too.
And that one was, we found out after the fact, they were basically hiding in plain sight, doing drug deals and stuff like that.
But
It just,
But
using events like this for those purposes, it's just, oh man, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. All right, we're here for you if you want to get into it, and understanding if you don't, we're down with that too. 505-246-0610. That's where we are today. 505-246-0610. Here's what we're gonna do. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30 this morning. He is the bracketologist at CBS Sports. He's with us every Thursday. Going to catch up with him as we get closer and closer and closer to Selection Sunday. We'll talk about the brackets. We'll talk about the teams. Did the Lobos get off of his bubble and onto the right side? Well, not off the bubble, but onto the right side of the bubble with their win in Reno on Tuesday. Get a little bit into Donovan Dent's injury, what we learned yesterday as the Lobos get set to go to San Diego State, and on the team from the USA, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, y'all, is going to play golf today. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Makes a little sports analysis.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
right, open for business for you today on a Thursday. There was other stuff around the NFL yesterday that was, I mean, I don't know, relatively interesting, and around the Chiefs that wasn't the parade and the tragedy. You guys, I don't know how people are going to feel about Travis Kelce coming up and basically defining his own act as unacceptable. I don't know if that's like a guilty plea and saying, yeah, all right, move on or whatever, because now people are going to say, fine, yeah, unacceptable. You should be whatever. But Travis Kelce, and it's the opening drive, by the way. Jeff, JJ, and TC, thank you for being with us today. They were on the New Heights podcast. That's Travis and Jason Kelce. And Kelce called his own actions, the pushing Andy Reid, definitely unacceptable. That was his words. Quote now, I can't get that fired up to the point where bumping coach and it's getting him off balance and stuff. When he stumbled, I was like, oh, bleep in my head. That was part of his quote. He was upset, basically, is what he said, that Reid had taken him out of the game. The Chiefs were near the goal line. They lost the fumble on a play, and Kelce wasn't on the field. And this is what we talked about this the other day. Noah Gray missed a block. Isaiah Pacheco got hit as a result of that, and he fumbled the football as they were going in. Kelce said that if Reid had gone back at him, that would have been fair. Quote now, again, Kelce, I deserve it. If he would have cold cocked me in the face right there, I would have just ate it. I would have been like, let's bleep and go. Does it make you feel any better? Does it make the people who were really adamant and screaming on social media that he should be canceled and that Taylor Swift should dump him because that's his temper and he's going to come after her and all this, does it make you feel any better?
But you got to be prepared that when you're living in that world, everything is going to be magnified on a different level for Travis Kelce from the Swifties. And they're like, well, he's a football player, so he must act like that. And when they're together in private, so someone better save Taylor Swift. I think like this can happen. You can acknowledge, hey, it was a bad look. I overstepped my boundaries. That doesn't mean that he should have been benched or he needed to be suspended in that moment. I think if you don't know now, you know. The sports world operates differently. There's going to be things that occur that you are allowed to move on from in the course of a game with a teammate or even with players. Like, flagrant fouls can occur. And you can stay in a game and go, oh, that looked really bad. You did that to someone? Yeah. It's a part of sport. I think that's what occurred, is it was Travis Kelce overstepped, but in the moment, you're not benching one of your best players in the Super Bowl. Maybe it's different. It's game 3 of the regular season. Like, Travis, go cool down for a few minutes. No, Grace got this. But that's sport. It's a different world. Things are not point A to point B like everywhere else.
Would it have been sport if it was Antonio Brown or if it was Odell Beckham, or I'm just thinking of a emotional black player? Would people have looked at it differently?
Well, I think if the player,
I've read this a lot of places.
I think if the player goes in there and performs and they win the game,
but
I don't feel any different. But when you bring up Antonio Brown, the last thing he did was take off his jersey and walk off the field.
Off the field, and he walked off and just quit, peaced out, right? Let me tell you something. 2 things saved Kelce. Okay, 2. One is they won. Now, if they'd have lost the game, we'd have been having a whole deeper conversation. And number 2 is the way Andy Reid responded to it. The guy who, quote unquote, was the victim, right? The guy who he pushed. We're good. We're good. That's our relationship, and that's Travis, and I have no problem with it. Now, if Andy Reid would have said, yeah, that kind of startled me, and I was like, what the bleep are you doing? And I thought about sitting him, but damn, he's Travis Kelce, and we'd had a different conversation.
I think part of it, honestly, it looks maybe worse than it actually was.
I think that's right.
Because Travis Kelce is like 6'5", 250. And while Andy Reid's a big guy, if he's reading and not really paying attention, doesn't have like his footing under him.
And probably not the most athletic in shape.
Yeah, so he runs over and he said, put me in, coach. And I just think it looked way worse than it actually was.
Yeah, it was bad luck. I mean, there's no 2 ways around it being a bad luck. And because it got physical, as opposed, you see dudes yell at each other all the time. You saw Mahomes and Rashee Rice go at it in that same game, didn't you? How many times you see Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady just screaming at Josh McDaniels?
Tom Brady screaming at everyone.
Right? all the time. Oh, he's fiery. He's a tough guy. It happens all the time. This one got physical, and this is where people, it's over the line. So I don't know. Does it make you feel better that he apologized for it? I remember seeing it in when we all first saw it together, and I'm like, whoa, all right, bad luck, but whatever. Like it didn't hit me like it hit the world. Oh my goodness! But there were 200 million people that watched this game, and probably half of them don't watch games, don't get it. They were just there. How can he do that? If I did that to my boss, yeah, stop. The whole "if I did that to my boss" thing, you kind of got to stop. You just do.
Yeah, are you getting paid to tackle and hit people?
No, your job is a lot different than their job. Like we kind of got it different. You're right. If you do that, if I go into my boss right now and get a little ticked off and kind of run into him, and I think momentum I don't think he meant to hit him. I think momentum, and he was angry and he pushed him. I don't know. Does this make it any better? The people who are angry are going to continue to get higher. I just firmly believe that. I think. I also,
is it the contact? It's the contact, right?
It's the contact. Because 100%.
If you ever watched a sporting event, you have also seen coaches scream out players.
Right.
So.
Right. No, I think firmly it's the contact. Yeah. You know, like nowadays when a coach grabs a player, I mean, that used to be commonplace. When you played ball, did the coach ever grab your arm? Coach ever grab you by the shoulder? Mine did. Now coach grabs him. Oh my goodness, he grabbed him. Did you see that?
Yeah, he needs to be fired now.
Yes. And by the way, he might be. Yeah, no, I think 100% it's the contact. And you guys, I just think people want to be angry. I think there's people all the time looking for something to be pissed off about. I'm offended by that. Wait, what was I having this conversation yesterday? Maybe it's 2 days ago. But I mean, everybody's offended by something. It feels like. And people are just looking for it. This wasn't okay. It wasn't, and Kelsey said it wasn't okay. Look, for me, it's move on. You know? Move on. Well, we'll see. All right, who's the fall guy for the 49ers? Is it Mike Shanahan? Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan's certainly not the fall guy. Is it Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, who spoke 2 days ago and explained what happened? No. So who's the fall guy for the Niners, and where do they go? That when we come back. Hey, call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I tell you this, not for me. I do yourself a favor. My friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing are going to stoke you. They are going to make you very happy. They're going to come out to you at your convenience, wherever and whenever it works for you, and they're going to detail your vehicle. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is going to take care of one of your biggest investments because it's dirty and grimy and grit, because that's just how cars and trucks get, especially in the winter. They're going to clean the inside, the outside, around the rims, under the hood, under the seats, like everywhere. Remember the day you took it off the lot? Remember when it was brand new? That's what your car is going to be like when On the Spot Automotive Detailing is done with it. And they do it at your spot, wherever your spot is, when it works for you. I don't know where their office is. It doesn't matter. They know where mine is. They've been awarded Best of the City for 2023 because they're the best, because they're reliable, they're efficient. They're going to take care of your vehicle. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing today. Schedule and buy online at otsdetailing.com. It's otsdetailing.com.
Join Presbyterian Healthcare Foundation.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony.
Yes, it was Chris Carter, right? Yes. Everybody's got to have a fall guy. I'll tell you who the Niners was. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Text line is open, 505-246-0610. This one says, morning, Jeff. It's a sad state of times we're living in. When my wife and I are out with our grown daughters, we always have a plan as to who's jumping on who to protect them. It's from Chris. Wow. Yeah, it is. This one says, that's cheap commentary to say Kelsey's actions are viewed differently based on race. It's football. It's a passionate game. Travis only owes Reed an apology. It wasn't really commentary. It's something that I've seen, and I'm sure you all have, and that's why I asked the question. It's been all over the social media, the conversation. That's why I asked the question. Would it be viewed differently? How would you view it differently? Is it cheap commentary? I don't know. It's not necessarily my commentary. I've seen this everywhere. Not everywhere. I've seen it a lot of places, and people having that conversation on social media. I've been asked the question a number of times, and so that's why I brought it up. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. 888-922-0610. All right. So 2 days ago, Kyle Shanahan hit the microphone with, he's the 49ers head coach. He hit the microphone with his general manager, John Lynch, right? And they kind of had their post-mortem and went through it. Kyle Shanahan tried to explain how he knew the rules. You guys, I know, JJ, you firmly believe he did. Man, the more I hear him talk, the more I hear the explanations, I'm less convinced.
Dude, you can make a wrong choice.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, like, everyone wants to say they didn't know, as opposed to they just made the wrong choice.
And it was the wrong choice. And you're right. You can make a mistake.
Like, they overvalued something that is
Never
not
happened.
guaranteed to happen, which is a third possession in an overtime where each team is guaranteed to.
Yep, not three. We want 3. Well, 3 never happened. So who's the fall guy? John Lynch, the general manager, said, I am sticking with Kyle Shanahan. I am confident in Kyle Shanahan. I like Kyle Shanahan. We've won big games. We're on the right path. Okay. Kyle Shanahan then fired his defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks. Quote from Shanahan, this morning I relieved Steve Wilks of his duties. Just where we're going and where we're at with our team from scheme standpoint and things like that, looking through it all throughout the year, these last few days, I felt pretty strongly that this was a decision that was best for the organization. End quote. This one baffles me. I'm not going to lie to you. I know somebody's got to take the hit. I know, and it's crazy. You got to take the hit because you lost in overtime in the Super Bowl. First of all, I will ask you, why does someone have to take the hit? Did you fail? If you failed, that means every team but one team in the league failed, and they need to make massive sweeping changes. Did you fail? Was this season a failure for the 49ers? I would argue the answer is absolutely no. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but it's not. Is this season a failure?
This is not a failure.
Okay. This is a guy whose defense held Patrick Mahomes through regulation to 19 points. The one touchdown that his defense gave up was a 11, 12-yard field aided by a muffed punt. Did they lose this game because of Steve Wilks' defense? This one stuns me a little.
Yeah, this is one where maybe there's a little bit more going on behind the scenes, especially with the amount of effort talk from the defense ahead of the Super Bowl, the performance in the playoffs from the defense, which they were playing from behind in those 2 games before the Super Bowl, because it was not a bad defensive performance. You look at what you did against Patrick Mahomes in that game. You had the game right there for you. Everything you laid out, even the special teams gave up a short field. The defense actually got an interception against Patrick Mahomes, and it feels like there was just some more stuff going on behind the scenes where maybe Kyle Shanahan and Steve Wilks were not quite seeing eye to eye.
No, obviously, yeah. Steve Wilks was the head coach in Arizona for a year. He went to was it Carolina, right? And he was defensive coordinator, and then he was the interim head coach at Carolina. He did not get that job when they hired Frank Reich, and then he goes here and gets fired. It's weird because it feels like he's a pretty good football coach. I don't know, man. I guess I got a little problem with that guy being the fall guy. I guess I do.
Well, and this is one, it doesn't sound good the more that Kyle Shanahan and the players talk about it. They made a wrong choice. And I don't really feel like the game would have been different, if every single San Francisco player knew the overtime rule. Like Kyle Juszczyk, there's audio of him getting ready to go on the field and go, oh, do you know the game's not over even if we score a touchdown first? Like, okay, your defense has to make a play regardless. Like,
Okay.
I just think they analyzed it and made the wrong choice as a coaching staff, as opposed to Kansas City. They were locked in and they knew what they needed.
I think the bigger issue amongst people, and I'll probably put myself in that boat, it felt that they were unprepared. They didn't know. For Kyle Juszczyk, who is a Harvard guy, right? A pretty smart dude. I mean, I'm going to guess if it was mentioned in a meeting, he'd probably be prepared. Maybe not. But
he's not playing defense.
No, you're right. You're right. But everybody should know the rules, right? I mean, everybody should know the rules. And if there's a significant change, and this is a significant change, at some point, man, you got to hold a meeting and everybody, or in a meeting, you don't have to hold a meeting specifically for this. But as you're going through it, all right, hey, and if it gets here, now let's walk through overtime, because it's different in the playoffs, guys. And hear me, listen to me, and here's what our strategy is going to be. And it just feels like, it doesn't feel like that. How do you guys not know? That's all. If your guys they were unprepared. I mean, if the guys don't know.
So this is a moment that this is the difference between a Super Bowl champion, Kansas City and San Francisco.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And can you learn from this? The answer has to be yes.
It's got to be yes.
Because you look at Kyle Shanahan, and all right, the dude can't win a big game. That's the narrative. Can't win a big game. Well, give me a coach and a front office that can get me to 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, back-to-back NFC Championship games, and I'll take my chances of eventually winning that game. But this is a moment where you have to learn, right?
Yeah. And I'm not saying he should be fired.
In fact, my argument is, I'm not sure I've got to go make
gigantic changes. We have the lead in the Super Bowl in overtime. Like, we're pretty damn good. I don't know that I've got to have a fall guy for what just happened. To your point, and this whole he can't win a big game, I think is BS too. I do. I agree with you.
Like this is one of those conversations where we all have to take a step back and say, all right, if we think that the guy on the other side is in contention to be the greatest quarterback ever, if you lose to him twice in a Super Bowl, that hurts, but that's not a like, oh my gosh, you can never win a game.
What's a big game? There's one game that's bigger than all of them, right? So if you're going to say you can't win the big game, all right, he hasn't won. Say you can't win a big game. I mean, you got to win a lot of big games to get to a Super Bowl, don't you?
Yes, you do.
You got to win a lot of big games to win an NFC Championship, don't you? Like to say you can't win a big game. Every week you tell me it's a big game. I mean, we sit here and spit into microphones. Oh, it's a big game. Ah, they're playing Middle Texas Western A&M State U. That's a big game, right? I mean, no, honestly, what game's not a big game? Because if you lose it, bleeping, right? Every game's a damn big game, especially in football when there's only 17 of them in the National Football League, and then you play the playoffs. Now, is the Super Bowl a bigger game than a early October game against the Cardinals? Sure it is. Sure it is. But he's won some damn big games. You lose me at the narrative. Kyle Shanahan can't win a big game. Now, the conversation, he can't win the big game. He's had 2 shots and he hasn't won it yet. I don't know that he can't. He hasn't. To me, there's a difference.
I agree with that. This is one that San Francisco, there's a lot of things you can learn from a lot. And it's when you think you're fully prepared, there's still things you can learn. And part of that goes to the overtime rule. And Kyle Shanahan, he's had a rough week because this is one you just have to eat. You have to fall on the sword for your team. And he said, I left it to my assistants to make sure that they were telling everyone this or that. No, you as a head coach, you just have to own this and realize that it might seem tedious, but there's a reason that you have to sit down before training camp and you go, all right, guys, here's the rules, or here's what you can be fined for. Any of this stuff that you have to do, part of the job.
How should he have answered it? What would have been? What would have mitigated the aftermath of this? He made the wrong decision. I've thought about this a bit. If he'd have just come out and said, you know what, guys, I made the wrong decision. Here's my thought process. I thought through it, and I thought our defense was playing well, but it turns into sudden death at the third possession. And I probably overthought this. It's never been done before, and I've spent a lot of time in the weeks leading up to it. And I just thought that if we could, we match each other in the first, we get it in the third possession, and it, in retrospect, it was a bad decision. Would that have been the way to answer it? I don't know.
There's nothing that's going to satisfy people when they're like, well,
how do you make a wrong decision? You're in the biggest game and you can't win. Yeah, well, you're right. I don't know what the right answer is in that situation.
They went in thinking, hey, we want to be in control of a third possession. That could possibly never happen.
It never did.
And they were wrong.
And it never, ever did. All right, 505-246-0610. An NBA player was arrested for punching another NBA player. Punched a dude on the other team at the game in the arena. What? And he was arrested. You've asked for it before. You've seen it on video. I'll explain next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is sponsored by SIPA.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
That's coming up in about an hour and 10 minutes. No, that would be a half hour and 10 minutes. So that would be 40 minutes, right? 30 plus 10 is 50. We'll talk to the CBS sports bracketologist about the latest, and he's got a new one coming out tomorrow. USA Track and Field Indoor Championships are here in the Borque this weekend. We got a pair of tickets to give away. We will do that coming up at 8:10 this morning. 8:10 if you want to win a pair of tickets to go out and watch some of the best athletes in the world here at the Convention Center. We will do that. Opening drive, Jefferson Bieta, JJ Buck. You ever go out to one of the, are you going to go out this weekend and watch that?
It's been a while since I've been to track and field.
Yeah, it's actually really
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's really
great.
Really. Gopher said, this is an email, Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. It says, Tony Romo didn't know extra inning rules, Jeff. So why would you automatically expect everyone else would? I wouldn't. I would expect the teams would. I wouldn't. I don't expect Gopher, everybody else to know. This is the first time we've ever seen that. I wouldn't expect everyone else to. Is it crazy to expect the people who are participating in the event to know the rules?
No. Kind of hope they do.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were all sitting around just going, wait, what? The clock's running out. What happens if the clock runs out? We had a question about that yesterday. Somebody called in. It was Wednesday after the game. No, I don't expect you or hell. I was asking, clock's run out. What's going to happen? There's no urgency. But yeah, I think it's fair to expect that the people who are participating, players in the game would know. Yeah, that the coaches would educate them. All right, we've watched sports over the years. We've watched dudes punch guys in the face, right? I mean, everything from Kermit Washington, Rudy Tomjanovich to whatever Draymond's done to, right? I mean, we've seen it. And you guys, we've had conversations on this show and everywhere else. Well, I mean, that's assault. Shouldn't the guy get arrested? Right? You've heard that. Hockey. Pistons center Isaiah Stewart was arrested in Phoenix yesterday for assault. He punched Suns center Drew Eubanks at the arena hours before the teams played. Phoenix police came in and issued him a citation. They released him, but they did arrest him. Stewart was already listed as out for the game because of a sprained left ankle. Eubanks played 6 points, 8 rebounds. But Eubanks said before the game that the altercation happened as he was coming. This is Eubanks, the guy who got hit, the Suns guy. He was coming into the arena. He said an argument started. And they were chest to chest. Stewart threw the punch. Security intervened. Eubanks said he was fine for the game. The police say he suffered a minor injury. Quote, this is from the Suns in a statement now. The attack on Drew Eubanks was unprovoked, and acts of violence such as this are unacceptable. We unequivocally support Drew and will continue to work with local law enforcement and the NBA, end quote. Pistons said they were aware of the incident. Again, I don't know. I haven't seen it. It sounds like two dudes chest to chest and one guy swung on the other guy, right? And then it got broken up. We never see police get involved. Dudes hit each other on the court. So it's totally different, right? And that is the difference.
The difference. The court saves you.
The court is like, you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want on the court. You're outside, you're walking in. And who knows what the heck is up with that? What was the beef between Isaiah Stewart and Drew Eubanks? We're walking into the arena. Stewart got that heated up where he decided to throw a punch at Drew Eubanks.
Walking into the arena.
Backup centers in the NBA going at it.
Backup center fights.
This happened in the fourth quarter. Like, okay, ooh, that's a rough look. You're going to get suspended. Now you're like, well, you have to deal with police because I was outside the arena, man.
So Isaiah Stewart has been suspended for an altercation before. He got into it with LeBron James. If you get into it with LeBron James, you're going to throw you out of the league. 2021, he was suspended for 2 games. James got a 1-game suspension. Monty Williams is the head coach of the Pistons. Monty Williams sounds familiar to you because he was formerly the head coach of Phoenix. Those are the 2 teams involved here. Monty Williams is a little hot and doesn't like the Suns' statement. The Suns said that they are going to stand with Drew and it was unprovoked and our guy was innocent. And the Pistons coach doesn't like it. He says the thing is to get all the information. The NBA will do an investigation. For me to come here and make a statement would be a bit irresponsible. I know the Suns said it was unprovoked. I think that is irresponsible for sure. You really don't know. That did not need to happen. There's time for the information to be gathered, and then you can make the statement. So he's trying to protect his kid. Yeah. I can't recall. I mean, can you recall an incident where players got into it at the arena, let alone, I mean, I understand it wasn't on the court, in the field of play, where the police got involved? I can't think of one. Can you?
As Isaiah Stewart been hanging out with John Morant.
I mean, right? Two dudes get chesty. One dude throws. I don't even know who called the cops. Was it security? Was the guy who got hit? Kind of weird, though, isn't it?
So Eubanks did address this to reporters after the game. Said that they were walking in, words were said, we got face to face, and he just sucker punched me. Then security got in the way. So I'm guessing security probably did the arresting or whatever happened after that. But wow, that is wild.
Precious, isn't it? That's precious. All right, update on Donovan Dent when we get back. The Lobo guard who has an ankle injury. Lobos play San Diego State tomorrow. How many of you heard this before? It's a big game, guys. Will he play? What Richard Pitino told us and what we know. It's next. Jerry Palm, 8:30, CBS Sports Bracketologist. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for March Madness.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back, your love.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
The backcourt's been banged up all year. All three guards have had injuries, and to have the three of them together has been great. I would tell you, Donnie has been their most consistent player throughout the year. Right? Do we agree on that?
He's the point guard.
Yeah.
Like, it's Rich Pitino. He's built like a race car, and the driver is Donovan Dent, and then you have your igniter, Jalen House. And then you have your other people, your bumpers, keeping you safe. Those guys in the paint.
Smash your engine.
And, Mashburn. Kind of the suspension.
Suspension, okay.
Yeah. All right. He can do a little bit of everything. You got the yin and the yang of House and Mashburn, Donovan Dent in control. Like, the pieces really work. And, of course, when you look at your starting point guard, no one wants to be without their starting point guard playing a basketball.
All right, so Richard Pitino was with us yesterday. Right about now yesterday. Well, the 9 o'clock yesterday, so 23 hours ago. And he said that the X-ray on Dent's ankle was negative, which is good. So there was no structural damage in there. He said it was a sprained ankle. Just looked, and DC, you were in here looking at it with me. It didn't look in the video of the last play, and it was literally on the last play. So there, he went up for a rebound, and it didn't look like he came down on an ankle, like how you sprain him. It looked like he came out of that gaggle, that gathering, that scrum, whatever it was, that group of players. And then when they won, he kind of jumped up in celebration and came down, and that's when that's when he went down to the ground, which is concerning in the respect of if it was a non-contact. And again, I don't want to sit here and try to diagnose an injury from some sideline cell phone video, from far away. But what we saw, when you get those non-contact things, those tend to concern you a bit, don't they?
Oh, quite a bit. I mean, it was a very innocent hop and celebration and came down awkwardly. You look at that and you hope it's not Achilles. You hope it's...
Have you seen this, JJ, yet? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You hope it's mild in nature, but it is concerning because you never want to have an ankle issue late in the season, that's for sure. And trying to rehab and get back from that, it could be 2, 3, 4 weeks even. So that's a tough one because it was not part of the scrum. I assumed it would be, and then you see it really wasn't. It was a celebration.
So, did you see what we saw?
It's hard to tell when it happened, actually.
Right.
'Cause I think he
Yeah,
might have
fair.
came down on someone and just you're
And
in the
not
moment
felt it until a couple of steps later.
because you're looking at rebound and then you're like, okay.
That's
Ouch.
really fair.
I guess that's possible too.
If it was something bad, we would have known. Like if it was Achilles, they would have known that.
You know,
Like
Yeah.
if he was done, Rich Pitino wouldn't have said it wasn't something.
no, he told
serious.
us. Yeah, he said it wasn't long term. I believe is the term. And if you missed Richard Pitino, he was with us yesterday, 9:00. It's still up wherever you get your podcast. Go up, Opening Drive. Go find it. It's on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, and you can click on the Opening Drive, and it's right there. Really good conversation with Richard yesterday, but his term was the X-ray was negative, and we don't believe it to be anything long term. There's a chance he does not play tomorrow. And so does that mean minutes? Well, it means more minutes for Jamal Baker. Who do you start?
True Washington.
So you start. You stay with
Or-
the three guards. Yep.
You
I'm
start
sorry.
Jamal Baker.
Okay. They're
and then
big.
have like House run the point,
House would run the point. Yes.
or then I'd listen to you too if you want to say you start Amzil, but then I think you still bring him off the bench.
Amsil?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you want to spell Toppin or Joseph first.
Where do some of those minutes get made up? Is it Mushila? Is he the next
Probably
guy up?
Isaac. Yeah.
Okay. And here's his opportunity. And this is a guy that was at Corpus Christi last year that scored, that led that league in scoring, that, maybe he gives you some time. Now, if, and this is a big if, Dent is not available. Now, I'll tell you, if Donnie can go, he's going to go. He's a Riverside kid, a Southern California kid to play in Southern California. He'll have people. I know it's a big deal for him to go home and perform. And he plays well in California. He always does.
Or maybe even start Mushila, which
interesting.
entirely at the 3, for some size. It's a go against San Diego State, and then you can keep that rotation off the bench because you're going to go a little bit deeper into that bench if Donovan Dent isn't playing. I think got some interesting options. I would say that Amstel would still come off the bench because you want to give rest
The bigs a rest. Yeah.
and continue that rotation.
How do you match up with them, especially on the perimeter? So, is it Mashburn on Trammell and House on Butler? Is that how you match up with them defensively?
Yeah.
And if Donnie plays, who does Dent guard? Saunders? Is that kind of how you play that? And then the bigs on the bigs? Who's on Ledee? Nelly?
I would think probably JT.
You think JT's because he's longer and more bouncy? You double him, right? Do you double him from the beginning? Jaden Ledee has been as good as anybody in this league, and I don't know who's going to. I was starting to think the other day about all conference team and how do you leave some of these guys off? I mean, Osabor's got to be on there, and Stevens, and everybody's got guys. Ledee. You double them from the beginning? Because I think you almost have to. At least show it at times, don't you?
And I have to think kind of back to what they did, because those are always interesting questions when you're talking about the best player on an opposing team.
Right.
And for Ledee, given the fact that he's more of just a go-to scorer,
but a post, just a dominant.
But as opposed to someone that's setting others up, because a lot of times when you're talking with coaches and game plans, like when you have a player that is really good at setting other people up, you actually don't want to send more people to them. But it's different when it's a post player. So I think you do want to put more pressure on a post, get the ball out of his hands because he's not a traditional playmaker, as opposed to if it's someone on the perimeter that's a traditional playmaker. You don't want to overuse resources on the perimeter, then you're going to get destroyed.
Have you thought about all conference in this league?
I've thought about it.
It's going to be really hard to pick 5 dudes in this league. I mean, I like Ledee, Osabor from Utah State, Degenhart, and I mean, you got to throw Agbo in there from Boise State, right? Blackshear's been great. Isaiah Stevens, and then you got Toppin. Mashburn will not be first team all league, but Dent and House have to be in consideration, don't they? Man, it's going to be tough. I was just looking at some stats. You know who's leading the league in field goal percentage? I mean, just crazy. It's field goal percentage in this league. Freshman from New Mexico, JT Toppin, is leading the league in field goal percentage. He is second in the league in rebound to Osabo. Freshman. Leading scorer in the league. This is over all games, not just league games. And I know they just go by league games, right? But Ledie's the leading scorer. Man, this is going to be really, really tough. If you just go by conference games, it's a whole nother story. But, man, how do you pick it? Toppin's the leading rebounder in the league.
I think
Toppin's the only guy in the league averaging double. First of all, Toppin's averaging double-double in the league. Freshman. He's the only guy in the league averaging, in conference games, averaging a double-double. And he's the only guy averaging double-digit rebounds in this league as a freshman. It's insane. Sorry.
I think the only thing that we know,
yeah,
and I think it's going to be the deciding factor, is the player of the year will be from, if there's a first-place team,
okay,
or if there's an outright winner in the conference, they'll get the player of the year.
That's great. Osabo now, right now, for Utah State. That's who it is right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Outside of that, have fun trying to figure out what 5 you're voting first team on.
Yeah. Can we, and not you and I do this, a lot of people look down on players who come in. You know, I remember Montana State coming in a couple of years ago. And whatever, people laughed at him. And I remember calling that game, and I remember doing this show and saying, look, man, this is a team that, and actually they went to the NCAA tournament that year, but Danny Sprinkle was the coach, and he's the coach of Utah State now. And they had great Osabo. And people were like, why was that game so close? The Lobos only won by, I think it was like 4 or 5. And we look at the big guys and say, well, those guys aren't as good. And then that guy transferred to this league, and he's probably going to be player of the year, or could be player of the year. Like, dudes can play in the Big Sky too. Do you recall? Do you know where Damian Lillard went to college?
In Ogden, Utah, at
Weber State, Big Sky. Yeah, it happens.
Ogden's an awesome little town too.
All right, I trust you on that.
It's a smaller version of Boulder.
All right, I trust you.
Hippie vibes, breweries.
Yeah, I'm
cool
down.
Spot.
I'm down. But dudes can play anywhere. Where did Steph Curry go? Do you remember?
Dayton?
Davidson.
That's right.
Davidson. You're like, what? Davidson? Come on, man. This little guy out of David. How good can he be? I don't know. He's pretty damn good, right?
Almost took out KU in the second round of the tournament, I believe.
Yeah. Pascal Siakam from New Mexico State. Kawhi Leonard from San Diego State. I mean, dudes come from everywhere. Yeah, some dudes come from Oklahoma and like in Texas, like Kevin Durant. But man, oh man, there's good players all over the place. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. So one guy uses one team uses their defensive coordinator as the fall guy. The defensive coordinator on the other side, you know, the ones that won, the one that, well, I mean, that won, he gets rewarded. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
World. But she's a two-time world shot put champion, and if you're looking for a little local flavor to root for and cheer for, something to be proud of, man. She's as good as there is in the world, and Chase Seeley will be here in competing. And DC, I guess you just talked to some of her family. They're on their way down, proud of her, and they should be. The whole state's proud of her because she's as good as there is in the world, and she'll be competing at the USA Track and Field Indoor Championships.
Yeah, just looking at her record, she's a stud. Gold after gold after gold. It's amazing. If nothing else, that's a good reason to go to that event for sure.
Well, by the way, it's a great event.
Well, and there you go. So there's two good reasons.
Yeah.
It's a great event, great players, great athletes. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I promised. I ran right through the ticket giveaway, so we're gonna do the tickets for that event at 8:45, right after Jerry Palm. Don't let me go to break without giving away tickets right after we talk to Jerry Palm. And he's coming up in about 11 minutes. The bracketologist from CBS Sports will get the latest. Text line at 505-246-0610. Hitting someone is an assault. It's battery. Okay. I mean, I'm just telling you what that they charge Isaiah Stewart with, whether it's battery or assault. The charge was assault, and it was because he hit someone. So.
Jeff, get it right.
Maurice wants to know long-term, replying to Richard Pitino, define long-term, Jeffy. 2 to 3 months isn't long-term, but when there's only a month left in the season, ... Okay. Long-term is an open term. It is a little vague. You had a game last night. Lobo women were winners last night in the pit, 72-51. Another nice win for them. They're cruising right now, huh? It's a big week next week, though. You're on the road all week.
Yeah, it was nice to get back-to-back home wins. To get a bye this weekend, get rested, get ready for your gigantic games at Boise State and at Wyoming next week. You got to go out there, handle a business. Wasn't the prettiest game, but then you look up and go, oh, you win by double digits. That's handling your business.
James wants to know, why do the computers love the Aztecs? Jeff, I'm seeing RPI of number 3. That's not right. What's San Diego State RPI? I don't know what RPI. Nobody looks at RPI. Net ranking, they're like 20. Their marquee win is at Gonzaga. That's with a C. And I can't imagine folks are going to be fooled by the Zags again this season. Is it because San Diego State doesn't have a bunch of bad wins? It's a bad win. They didn't fatten up with 300 RPI clubs like others in the Mountain West. They don't have a bad loss. Their losses are like in the pit, at Boise, at Grand Canyon, which net ranking is good. The Gonzaga win is a good win. The Washington win, I believe, at Stanford. They lost at BYU. Why the computer? JJ, sometimes the computers baffle me as well. But the computers do love San Diego State and New Mexico for that.
They played a strong schedule. They have no bad losses. They have 4 quad 1 wins and 4 quad 2 wins.
Well, there you go.
That's pretty solid.
4 quad 1 wins. They beat St. Mary's, which is a pretty, and again, that's holding up. And the more St. Mary's keeps winning, and they went out and tried to play a schedule. They played St. Mary's, Washington, Cal, Grand Canyon, UC Irvine, who the computers seem to like UC Irvine, and Stanford and Gonzaga. They did that in non-conference. Now, they damn near lost to UC San Diego. Like this San Diego State team is gettable. The team that the Lobos are going to play tomorrow, they're gettable. They're not, like last year was special. And if that's going to be the standard, they're going to fall short many, many times.
Well, that phrase works for
everybody in this league.
The top 6 in the Mountain West.
Gettable? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, you got an opportunity tomorrow. I mean, heck, you handled them when they were here. You got a real good opportunity tomorrow. All right, the 49ers fired their defensive coordinator. Steve Wilks was the fall guy because they lost the Super Bowl. The Chiefs awarded theirs. Steve Spagnuolo got a contract extension. NFL media is reporting that because his contract was about to expire, there was urgency on Kansas City's part to get the deal done. They gave him a new deal. He's 64 years old. Been with the Chiefs since 2019. They were second in points allowed, second in yards allowed the regular season, but more importantly, they were really, really good in the postseason. They handled Bills. They handled the Ravens. They won the Super Bowl, and Steve Spagnuolo gets a new deal. This was, I think, as key as anything. I think if you haven't been watching, the last couple years have really amplified the significance of coordinators in this league.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at Philadelphia. Look at the drop-off when they went to the Super Bowl and both of their coordinators got head coaching jobs. And they were fine for a minute.
Get late in the season, and they were one of the worst teams in football.
Right? You look all around, I mean, everywhere. Pickett. And
it's a reminder of how many things go in as you try to win a football. The head coach, yes, really, the head coach is making those final decisions, but a lot of times the decisions that matter are who are you bringing in as your coordinator. Because not every head coach is a play caller. Not every head coach is handling the offense or defense. You just need to come in, stable the ship, and hope they have good coordinators with them to make the right decisions and be the lead guy. And there's different ways to do it. And we're finding out, too, just as you said, just how important these positions are in the NFL. And there's a reason that when we go through the hiring cycle, you look, a bunch of assistants get jobs because they're the next in line to be head coach.
Yeah, and then you see what they do as head coaches, but watching what happens to the places where they leave, right? I mean, the Philly thing is just such a glaring example. Dallas was interesting when Kellen Moore left. It matters a lot. All right, what matters a lot? Well, the last 3 weeks of the regular season in college basketball. Who's in, who's not, where are the Lobos, how's the Mountain West, who are the 1 seeds? Houston right now, and UConn, and Purdue, and Arizona. Jerry Palm does this for a living. He's the guy at CBS Sports who does it. He's the guy that whenever you're watching a CBS telecast, they refer, our Jerry Palm has them as the number what seed. They're out, they're in. Jerry Palm joins us next to explain what's going on. His new bracket comes out tomorrow. Maybe he'll give you a little glimpse of what's coming up next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Boot Camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root
beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff. One scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough. Back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Tomorrow, and every game is big. Lobos back at it tomorrow in San Diego, coming off a big win on Tuesday night at Reno. First quad one road win for the Lobos, and it was coming off of a home loss to UNLV, sitting right around everybody's bubble. And what does it mean? And certainly in a vacuum, it means one thing, but in the big scheme, who knows what it means. The guy who predicts all this stuff and does it so well for CBS is Jerry Palm. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Jerry. How you living?
I'm all right. So, by the way, slight change of schedule this week. I'm actually doing a bracket right now.
Are you right now?
For today, because we have the bracket reveal show on Saturday, where the NCAA gives us their top 16, and I'll have another bracket that day based off of that. So instead of doing brackets on back-to-back days or skipping it entirely, we're doing a Thursday, Saturday this week.
So what time will it drop?
Well, I'm into the beginning of the 9 seeds. I just put New Mexico in. So the most recent team I put in the bracket. So they're my top number 9. So, later this morning sometime.
So that's a big deal. So you have them, you move them, the win in Reno, and with everything else going on, move them from first team out to a number 9 seed, which is a significant move.
It is. And the thing is, they checked a major box. They filled a big hole in their resume by getting that win at Nevada, which was that they hadn't beaten anyone with a pulse away from home. And now they can say they've done that. So it's and there's there haven't been a ton of games. I mean, a lot of people play tonight. There's some games that I would normally be incorporating into a bracket. So I have a bracket where I have several teams that still have games to play this week. But anyways, so it's about right for New Mexico, I think, to be where I have them.
What happened in Nevada in your latest bracket?
Not there yet. New Mexico's ahead of them.
Okay, all right.
And New Mexico's the last team I put in before you call.
Okay, fair enough. No, that's good. And so I'm going to guess San Diego State, Boise State, Utah State are still in. Did Colorado State drop significantly?
No, not really. I haven't gotten to Boise State yet either. Okay. But Colorado State is still San Diego State, Colorado State.
Utah State.
Utah State. Yeah, Utah State would be second on that list. And then Nevada among the Mountain West teams in the top. The others are in the top 32, and then New Mexico's 33, the top number 9.
It's great. How many teams are? What is the number of automatic qualifiers? Is it 32?
32 and 36.
Okay,
32 automatic qualifiers and 36 at large.
How many teams are legitimately in contention for those 36 spots right now? Is it somewhere in the area like 50, 52?
Like 40. I'm going to probably have 45 or 6. I would say on my board. There are others that, with a month to go could still play their way in and out of that pile. But, yeah, I've got about 46 on my board.
He's Jerry Palm, and it's his board. His new bracket will come out on CBSSports.com later today.
Now, Jerry, when you're doing, as you said, these snapshots of the moment, you're working with the information you have now. What are the things you're looking at as you put this bracket together?
Well, I mean, you look at strength of schedule. You look at the strength of a team's wins, the strength of their losses. Where did you play these games? That's important to show that you can beat quality teams away from home. It doesn't have to be on the road. Neutral site games too. So conference tournaments are chances to do that as well in most cases. So yeah, it's a lot, and oftentimes when you're comparing teams, what stands out between the two that's different. It's not always the same thing. But if you're comparing two teams, there'll be some things that are similar and some that are different. And so then you kind of focus on what the differences are, or the things in each team's resume that are different that stand out, good or bad.
When you look at what's ahead, just in terms of some fantastic opportunities, there are some great games, especially when you look at the Big East. You got Marquette, UConn, and then UConn Creighton. Like, that is a fantastic race. One of the ones we're watching.
Oh yeah, Marquette. In fact, Marquette and UConn still have home and home together this season. So that's obviously going to be two big games. I've got Marquette at the 2, and obviously UConn number 2 overall. The Big East has got some great games still coming up in the latter part of their conference schedule, but that head-to-head with Marquette and UConn is going to be revealing and about both of these teams, and I can't wait to see each of those games.
Jerry, how solid is the top line? You got Purdue, UConn, Arizona, and Houston, and then North Carolina's been scuffling. Kansas has got run the other night, big. Tennessee's winning. How solid is the top line?
Well, Purdue, UConn, Houston, in that order, look pretty solid. And there's differences between those three. Like Purdue's a solid 1, UConn's a solid 2, Houston's a solid 3, and the fourth one has been a revolving door. I'm going to have Arizona in a bracket twice in a row as the fourth number 1, which I haven't had for a couple of weeks. The same team as number 4. And it's really primarily because they haven't played yet. They'll play tonight, I think. So, that fourth spot has been a revolving door, and there's I would say, a relatively significant gap between 3 and 4, and the 3 in the rest of the field.
Hey, Grand Canyon intrigues me a lot, and you've got them as an 11 seed. If they I think they're 22-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If they do not win the WAC tournament, will they get in as an at-large? They beat San Diego State. They played South Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for them to get in as an at-large, but they have nice metrics, right, for what that's worth. But it's who are they going to lose to?
It'd be
the San Diego
Valley
State win is something, but who are they going to lose to that's not going to hurt them enough to knock them out of the bracket?
Yeah, it'll be a Seattle or a Utah Valley or something like that.
They've already lost to Seattle. Right. Yeah, Utah Valley maybe. Yeah, it's there's not a lot of options
because they could have a gaudy. It could be like 28-3 or something, 29-3, 30-3, something like that.
I've had Indiana State as the team at the top of the list. I think I actually still have Indiana State ahead of Grand Canyon, even though Indiana State lost this week after getting ranked. They celebrated by getting beat, taking a quad 4 loss. But yeah, I don't know that I don't really see that the strength of schedule is going to be a problem.
I guess
the win over San Diego State at home is not nothing. But my advice to them would be to not put themselves in that position.
Yeah, I guess the question even broader, is there a team in one of those leagues that can afford to lose and still get an at-large? Is there a too big league out there somewhere?
Yeah, it would either be them or Indiana State. But I don't know if Indiana State now can afford to lose again. I mean, it's that loss to Illinois State really hurts. But Grand Canyon maybe could do it. They're the top of my one bid league teams, except Indiana State's up there too.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, is with us just for a few more minutes here on the Sports Hour.
Well, Jay, one of the mobile teams we're discussing, and it's a resume team for some of the teams in the Mountain West, Gonzaga, and what they were able to do last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that was big for them. They still, I think, have work to do. We probably talked about it last week. I'm sure I would have said that I think they need to beat Kentucky and St. Mary's to have a shot at an at-large. If that Kentucky win is all they have at the end of the season, that's not going to be enough. So I don't think they can afford to lose to St. Mary's 3 times. So they either have to beat them at the end of the regular season or they have to beat them in the conference tournament, which means the automatic bid. So I don't think their work is done yet, but that was obviously important because if they didn't win that game, then we would already be talking about conference championship or nothing.
Is it because there's not great wins? I mean, they tried. I look at their schedule, right? Their losses.
Oh, yeah, they play a great schedule every year. They know they have to because they can't count on their conference to provide enough quality opponents to just get an at-large based on what they've done in their league. So they have to play good opponents and non-conference play, and they do every year. It's just that this year they didn't beat any of them until Saturday.
Well, and they got let down, right? They beat Syracuse. They won at UCLA. They beat USC.
But nobody ever thought Syracuse was going to be good, and they got them in a tournament.
No, so where are their bad losses? Like I look at it, it's Purdue, Washington, UConn, San Diego State, Santa Clara, and St. Mary's. So where are their bad losses? Santa Clara?
Yeah, I think that's a quad 3 loss.
It's interesting. It'd be crazy to see. I mean, when was the last time we saw a tournament without Gonzaga?
1998.
Yeah, I knew you knew the answer.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Not since Mark Few took over as coach. And in fact, they were only in one tournament before 98, which was 95. I think Monton was coaching then. Anyways, yeah, it's been a tremendous run for Gonzaga. They still have work to do. They're capable of doing it. We'll just have to wait and see if they can.
All right. The team that you watch that's getting hot late, like a team that turned it on late, and Tennessee might not fall into that, but is there a team that you've been
Marquette?
Yeah, that's probably right. That's really good.
Yeah, Marquette's been really coming on. They had that kind of a slump. Kolek was having a shooting slump, and the team was having a bit of a funk, and they both came out of it, and now Marquette's been playing, really well. Among the teams, chasing number 1 seeds, they're the one that seems to actually still be chasing it. And then Arizona's been playing better too, but Marquette's doing it in the Big East. So, I would have to say Marquette is the team that's really kind of gotten hot.
What will the Pac-12 end up with? 3? Maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe? Arizona.
And maybe
Utah,
Oregon, Utah?
Colorado, Oregon. There aren't a lot of Washington State's second at the moment. They're in the bracket so far. But yeah, it's the depth of that league is really disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of great. Football, it was such a banner.
It's the exact opposite of football.
Yeah,
it's the exact opposite. I mean, Arizona's good. They're a potential national champion. They're good enough to do that. If anybody else gets to the second weekend, it would probably be a surprise.
Pardon me if Arizona is like Purdue to me when I go through brackets. When we sit in March, I pick them every year and I get beat every year on them. Like I know you do too because you love Purdue so much.
Well, I try to pick with my head and not my heart when it comes to Purdue.
Yeah, but how did you not like Purdue last year?
Well, I would have never picked them to lose to fairly good.
Right.
Yeah, I would have never picked that.
Yeah.
But I think the year they lost to St. Peter's, I didn't have them going past the Sweet 16, but I also didn't have them playing St. Peter's. So because I think Kentucky was their draw in that bracket, the year before. So Arizona, I had Kentucky and St. Peter's beat both of them.
Arizona Purdue feels so similar when it gets into March.
Well, we saw that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we saw that game this year.
Yeah.
It's you never know. It's stuff changes. Purdue is definitely better equipped this year to make a longer run. Pretty much anything would be a longer run, but
Yes.
to have a legitimate shot to make the kind of run we all thought they might be capable of last year. But tournament showed up, and so did the freshmen. Freshman guards lost their legs last year. That's not going to happen this year. And they added Lance Jones, who's been a tremendous addition to this team, a real better than anybody probably thought he was going to be. A better addition to the team than anybody thought he was going to be.
For the record, Purdue beat Arizona 92-84 back on Bowl Day, the 16th of December. Yeah, I know. All right, we'll watch for it. Go back to work. You got what, about 6 more seeds to do, so 7 more seeds to go.
No, I've done the bottom quarter of the bracket already. I've just got 3. I'm like
so you're almost done.
I'm the bottom of the at-large pool at this point.
All right, we'll watch for it to drop here in the next few hours, and then another one on Saturday. We'll catch up with you next Thursday. Read them every day over on CBSSports.com. Follow them on the X. It's at JP Palm CBS. Jerry, always appreciate your time. Enjoy the weekend. Be well.
All right, thanks.
See you. Jerry Palm. 9 seed. Feel better?
Yes. I know everyone is freaking out. I can't believe he's saying this and they're in all these other brackets. No, it's part of the process. You had those opportunities for New Mexico. Go get those road wins that are in front of you. They got one. They were able to
9 seed. So if you win your first game, you get Purdue, Arizona, UConn, or one of those 1 seeds, right? In the next round.
Get yourself out of that position.
Yeah. Keep winning. All right. Let's give away some tickets. Ready? Some of the best athletes in the world are in the Burke. They are here this weekend. It is the USA Track and Field Indoor Championship. It is over at the Convention Center tomorrow and Saturday. And DC's got 2 tickets for you to go. 505-246-0610. That is the number. Call now. 505-246-0610. If you are caller number 3, you will get to see the best athletes over there. 505-246-0610. Call now. Courtesy of your good friend DC at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Friends at Blake's Lauderberg, did you get a cherry chocolate coffee?
Oh, I went for the milkshake.
That was as an option to us.
Lucky me then, because I tell you.
You and Stigler were sitting here sucking on milkshakes from Blake's.
Yeah, man, a little sugar.
What do you got? Like a little cherry cheesecake or something?
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's exactly what I needed.
Well, I'm very grateful to get what I have as well. Thank you to Blake's. And
thank you, Blake,
for the cherry. What is it? Cherry chocolate coffee or whatever I'm drinking. All right, thanks to Jerry Palm for being with us. So there's something called Bracket Matrix. It's accessible for all of y'all. It's at bracketmatrix.com, and it basically gathers all of these so-called experts. God, there's a lot of, holy smokes, how many are there? Basically all the people who do brackets.
Put them on the internet.
I mean, everything from VO to Stadium to Racket to MJ to, I mean, I don't even know what they all are. And throws them all together and averages them out and whatever. And it has the levels. The last 9 seed is an average right now. Whatever that means to you. It's got them in. There's 106 brackets that there's 106 people that do this stuff. I guess there's more than that. So 9 seed, that's where Jerry's got. Look, I think right now they're in. They're in a great spot. Like Richard Pitino said to us yesterday, we lose the next 6, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, and that's why I know you're watching the game the other night on CBS Sports, and they keep saying Jerry Palm has him on the outside. Jerry Palm has him on the outside. That's their guy. So they're going to use Jerry Palm's bracket for CBS Sports Network broadcast. And everyone's like, but look over here. They're an 8, they're a 9. It is always a moving target. It's a snapshot of the moment. Lobos went out there, got their best road win of the season, put them on the right side, and they got to find a way to stay on the right side.
I mean, you had someone who had him as a 6. I saw the main, the big dog sports information guy over at UNM tweeting out, well, why? I mean, everybody else has him as a 8 or a 9 or whatever. No, I mean, Lenardi had him as last 4 in at ESPN. They were all over the place. That's what these guys do, man. They're all prognosticating in the moment. And they all come out at different times and with different games and different samples. And so it's just kind of where it is. You start looking at the teams really on the bubble, like Gonzaga. They're in as a 12 seed consensus. That's a Dayton team right there. They would probably play, I don't know, Cincinnati or something in Dayton. So they're all over, but you got a month to go, almost a month before, right about a month before Selection Sunday. 4 more weeks, and so this thing will play itself out. You got a great opportunity on Friday to go to San Diego and get a quad 1 win, and you got a San Diego State team who is a consensus number 5 seed right now. So the 8-9 right now is as a consensus for whatever it means. Well, this would be a great opportunity. The 8-9 game, they would play the number 1 8 seed, and that would be Texas. And then you would get one of the 1 seeds if you can get through that game: Purdue, Connecticut, Houston, or Arizona. Look, we've watched over the years, man. Farley Dickinson wins games, and 8 seeds win, and San Diego State beat a 1 seed in Alabama on their way to the Final Four last year, right? I mean, it happens.
Yes, it does.
key is just get in, keep winning, and just get yourself in. All right, we're here for you. The emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Sarah says that game was a joke last night. Jeff Bradbury had the Lady Lobos under a chokehold. They could have beaten that club by 50. I don't know. They won by 21, 72-51. They beat San Jose State last night. That was a good win for the Lady Lobos last night, wasn't it?
They didn't start the fourth quarter 1 of 11 from the field. It might have been a larger margin of victory.
Sometimes you miss shots. Carl wants Tiger Woods updates all day. He says we need to keep the starting gate or whatever this show is called. Whatever this show is called. We'll call it the starting gate. You need to keep it open all day so you can give Carl my Tiger Woods updates. Carl, tap it into your phone. I'll bet you have one. And you can get Tiger Woods updates. Tiger Woods is playing golf today in a tournament, a PGA tournament. That's a real thing. It's the opening drive. We'll get into the red zone when we get back. NFL red zone. We're going to go through the AFC South State of the Union next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Go Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
Rolling through a Thursday. Lobo women were winners last night, 72-51. Travis Kelce said what he did was unacceptable, and of course we got into the parade and the shooting at the parade in Kansas City yesterday. Open for all of that when we open up the phone lines again for you at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. Each day we dive into some NFL stuff. We call it the NFL Red Zone. DC puts together some questions, and we just kind of talk our way through it. Let's get into the Red Zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the Red Zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
And here we are, day 3 of the State of the Union. This time we're going to take a trip to the AFC South. So let's start with probably the biggest surprise in the NFL last year, the Houston Texans.
Great shape. First-year coach who turned things around and feels like he's got the attention of the locker room. They've got what appears to be a star in the making at quarterback, and they've got a few years on a rookie quarterback contract so they can go put pieces around him. They got the defensive rookie of the year in Will Anderson. They got a defense that appears to have playmakers. They can go out and spend some money. They've got good young receivers if they can keep them healthy. I mean, you forget that Tank Dell and Noah Brown were both hurt. Nico Collins became a really good receiver. They can go out and draft a running back. They can shore up their offensive line, which is pretty good with Laramie Tunsil there. And I mean, the Skies, like all of a sudden, they went from one of the worst teams in the league to, holy smokes, they've got a great future with some cap room.
I think if you're looking at teams and projecting just the excitement, the young playmakers they have, I think Green Bay Packers are one of the most exciting teams in the NFL, and Houston Texans would be right there because of C.J. Stroud. In fact, you have 2 legit receivers in Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They could have $71 million cap space. Now they're going to need that to re-sign Jonathan Grenard, who was an exceptional pass rusher, 12.5 sacks. So you have him opposite Will Anderson. And this is what, like, in the moment when you look at the Houston Texans and they made the move, they drafted C.J. Stroud and then they trade to get back up and get Will Anderson. You're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? What are they doing? They're being brilliant because they still have a first-round pick this year from the Deshaun Watson trade. They own Cleveland's pick, so they're picking number 23. They hit home runs last year. They have a ton of cap space. This franchise is going places.
So with all that cap space and the need for a running back, you think there's any chance Derrick Henry ends up out there?
I mean, Derrick Henry fits in so many places. Like honestly, Derrick Henry, it's just the cap space. How much do you want to spend on a 30-year-old back? It's going to be, to your point yesterday, he wants to get paid, and so I think he may go whoever's going to pay him the most. I just think teams are going to be really, really, really slow to give him what he wants, and he may be a guy who goes into camp without a place. Now, I could be totally wrong on this, but I mean, who's going to pay him what he wants? This would be a place where there is cap space.
But I'm not. I'm re-signing the guy that had 12.5 sacks. I'm adding to the defense that. And then if I get to thinking about Derrick Henry, sure. But that's not someone I'm using a lot of my cap space on.
Second and goal.
Ready, down, put.
Well, how about the probably one of the biggest disappointments in the league, the Jacksonville Jaguars?
With Jacksonville, it's what is going to become their identity. Trevor Lawrence, he is one of those guys. He's a good quarterback. He flashes really good talent, but he's not the guy that's going to carry everyone yet at this moment. And for Jacksonville, it has to be protecting Trevor Lawrence. He was sacked 35 times this past year. So it's a team that just needs to solidify what they want to do. They take a little bit off his plate, and that's okay. Because you can find your rhythm, get going, and then allow a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence to make some big-time plays. And with that comes playmakers. They tried it with Calvin Ridley, but that dude was MIA a lot of the season, so it's continuing to put players out there to make plays for Trevor Lawrence. And just getting it right, I think Doug Peterson was the right move as head coach. You head into a year or two, clean some things up, and you should be nipping at the heels of the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I agree with you. What are they? Because they should have been way better, right? And this was a team that I think a lot of us thought was going to take that step. And I thought absolutely Trevor Lawrence was going to become one of those guys And there were people preseason who were saying Trevor Lawrence is going to be in the conversation for MVP. And I still think he's going to be really good. I agree with you. So the two places that I look at, they got to shore up their offensive line. They've got to protect that young quarterback. What are they defensively? Outside of Josh Allen, what are they defensively? And I'm not really sure I know what they are defensively and if I believe in it. So I've got to find me a pass rusher. I've got to find a guy who's going to go be a disruptor on the defensive line. So for me, I'm going to believe that Calvin Ridley's going to be better. I paid Christian Kirk a lot of money. I think I got a good running back in Travis Etienne, right? And then I've got guys like Zay Jones, and so my focus, I got to get better on both lines.
And this is a team that, if you remember, they had an opportunity to take Aiden Hutchinson, and they took Trayvon Walker. So if you're looking for who's going to be a pass rusher, probably the dude you took number 1 overall 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it needs to be.
Time to start making an impact.
Yeah, and he would.
3rd and goal.
All right, next we go over to Indy to talk about one of the more interesting teams, the Colts.
Yeah, it really is because, gosh, they were good, and they did it with Gardner Minshew. And I don't know what their cap space is, and I probably should have looked at this a little bit better. To me, they were as big a surprise as most, right? They're going to go back into it with Anthony Richardson, which almost feels like another rookie year at quarterback. He played a few games, and he got hurt. Is Jonathan Taylor going to be there? Can you keep him happy? They're a team that I wonder if they kind of capped out as the way they are. Where do they get better? They got to get better on the offensive line. I think defensively, I love DeForest Buckner. I love a lot of the things they do defensively. I think they're decent in the defensive backfield. Is Michael Pittman going to be the star that he looked like he's going to be? I don't know. To me, this is so totally dependent on A, the recovery, and B, the development of that young quarterback, Anthony Richardson, because he came into the league, that quarterback class, the guy that consensus was the guy who needed the most development anyway. And then you lose almost a full year of development. I wonder if that puts you back in.
Well, it will, especially when he wasn't throwing until the last couple of weeks because of his injury. And the thing with Anthony Richardson, too, is you hope he's not scared. You still need to use your athleticism, and there's a process. And we look at these guys, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they became better passers as their career went on. You can't force it early. You want to eventually win down the field, but don't be scared to use your athleticism, use your legs, because that's what's going to make you special if you're Anthony Richardson as you continue to develop. And it's Michael Pittman. The dude's free agent. He had a first 100-catch season, and you need a legitimate number 1 weapon for your young quarterback. Got to re-sign Michael Pittman, Chief.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, and finally, the Tennessee Titans.
This is going to see if Will Levis is the dude. Brian Callahan comes in, the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, now new head coach of the Tennessee Titans. And will we see a team that will spread it out and push the football downfield? Because one thing that Will Levis does is you look at his yards per attempt. He's got a big arm. He likes to push it downfield. You know, there's a lot of talk about Derrick Henry, but now it's on to Tajay Spears. Looks like he's going to be their RB1 heading into next season. And the Titans are always one of those teams that you look at and they feel like they're okay. They don't really do anything too great. And I'm really interested to see what they do. They're at number 7. Is they kind of take best player available, or is that an opportunity? Because they're at 7. You could be looking at potentially the 2nd best wide receiver in the draft. And if you're looking to try to change the future of your franchise, you're in on Will Levis right now.
Get him a help. Get him a weapon.
That could be a spot to get a guy.
Yeah, is their line good enough to protect him? They've got, I mean, they paid DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know how much he's got left in him. I agree with you. If you got an opportunity to get, what's the young man's name from Washington? The receiver. If you can find him, I don't know what they are, man. I honestly don't know what they are. Who's going to carry the rock? For how many years they've been Derrick Henry, right? I mean, when you think of Tennessee, you think of Derrick Henry, and he's not going to be there. I think they'll find a running back 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, and I think he's going to be good. I mean, there's running backs 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round all over the place. You're dead on right. It's the development of Will Levis. And I'm going to tell you, I kind of like it. I'm going to tell you, I think they're going to be better. This is a team that this is next year's Houston, Texas. This is a team that everybody's going to discount. They've got a new head coach that you hadn't heard of. They're going to have a new running back. They're going to have a totally new identity. I like me some Will Levis.
So does their new offensive coordinator, Nick Holes. He went out and said he had not really seen a lot of him, but started watching tape. And likes his toughness, likes, the way he throws the ball. Basically, big guy. Yeah, all the things he's supposed to say, but the way he put it, and it's right now on Pro Football Talk. Read that article. He's gushing about it, and that's, if nothing else, it's a good start.
Well, it is, and he's got to, because that's what he's got to work with, right? So he's got to come in and talk his guy up. But I like him. I just think this is going to be the team. Look, we went into this year, and there were, in the AFC, we discounted basically two teams, right? Maybe it was just one. We discounted Houston. But everybody else, we made it. You were making an argument, it's so good, the AFC is so good, and everybody can make the playoffs, and the Chargers and the Broncos and the Raiders, and the one team everybody discounted was Houston. And not only did they win the AFC South, they won a playoff game, right? Didn't they? They didn't win a playoff game, did they?
They beat the Browns.
They did. They beat the Browns, right?
Comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. There's free agency and there's the draft.
You have a thing for the Titans.
I kind of do.
You do.
I don't know why. Nashville's really cool.
It's probably more of a Nashville thing.
There's nothing wrong with that. Cashville, Tennessee.
I mean, Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas, yeah.
Maybe I do. Yeah, I'm not going to argue. All right, 505-246-0610, 8889-220-0610. Emails are coming in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Cowboys defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer was introduced yesterday. He said, I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for this. I'll tell you what that is and what that means for the Cowboys when we come back. Hey, several businesses, major businesses, have shut down in Albuquerque in recent months. They're tired of losing inventory because of crime. It's happening for small business owners too. And it's happening for homeowners who are being affected in both Albuquerque and Santa Fe. And the truth is, police aren't coming to the rescue until it's too late. You probably noticed International Protective Service, IPS officers at local stores, Targets, Walmarts. IPS is making a major difference for them, and they can help you too. IPS offers standing guards and 24-hour patrols to protect your home and your business. They respond to alarms most of the times in 7 minutes or less. A quick armed response when a quick armed response is needed. The IPS technology team also installs video cameras. This will record the video of criminals who vandalize or steal business or home property. The video helps the police in their investigation, and when bad guys see surveillance, it discourages criminal activity. And IPS can set up your business so the only people authorized to get in are the only ones who get into your facility. Sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm, install cameras, and set up access control. They'll provide the manpower and the technology to protect you, your business, and your home. You've invested way too much to keep putting up with vandalism and break-ins. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better places to live and work.
The madness.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Next in line,
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
OD in your AM, or whatever we call this show. I think it's Jibber Jabber Local Wannabes. Is that what it is? 505-246-0610. Come on and play radio with us if you got something on your mind. We got a bunch of emails from you this morning. Tony Romo, oh, I already gave you that one. Glenn says, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on this award-winning opening drive, Jeff, but Lobo fans should be concerned about Donovan Dent. Says, I finally saw the Dent video yesterday. He went down like a sack of potatoes with a non-contact injury, and I immediately thought ligament damage. My guess is he was already more banged up than we were being told, which made him vulnerable to additional damage to the ankle. It's from Glenn. Glenn, I don't know. I know what Richard Pitino told us yesterday, that the X-ray was negative, and Richard said he doesn't believe it will be long-term. And can we pull that at some point? Probably we can. And look, I don't know what to tell you other than what we're told. Would I be surprised if he missed a game or maybe even 2? JJ, I wouldn't. Which then makes you sure. Then I'm concerned, right? Dude went down with an ankle injury as your point guard, and he's a machine.
Yes, it's just an uncertainty. See what happens. over the next few days, how it responds, what it's like, you just don't know. And you can assume, if he misses time, it's going to stink. It's your starting point guard. But you have to reset, attack it. It's a good thing that this team has some nice pieces. It would to adjust. We're discussing, all right, if he doesn't play, what do they do? Isaac Mushila in the starting lineup, do you just go right to True Washington? Do you insert Jamal Baker? These are intriguing things against the San Diego State team that, just like you saw the Nevada game, that's actually what, if you're the Lobos, you'll take that. If they be in a game, final minute in San Diego against the Aztecs.
We haven't really looked past this week, I mean, we talked so much about this week because it was so big at Nevada, at San Diego State. You got Colorado State comes in next week, midweek. And then you got Air Force. So next week you got 2 home games, Colorado State and Air Force, before going up to Boise. So, look, these 3 in a row, Nevada, San Diego State, Colorado State. I got to put 4 in a row because UNLV beat you. Right? So UNLV, Nevada, San Diego State, Colorado State, that's a hell of a run. Yeah, I want to have them. But, again, they're going to do the right thing, and we'll probably find out game time tomorrow. What's 8 o'clock tomorrow night?
Yes.
It means I can go maybe make a tea time, play golf. You got Seinfeld tomorrow night, don't you? Okay. I guess you can't play golf in the afternoon. Nor can I, man. I got to work. It's going to be like 58 tomorrow or something. It's sunny and beautiful.
JJ, have you been out riding at all recently?
No.
I've gotten out a few times. It's been real nice.
It's time, man.
It is.
It's been a hell of a week. Sid's worn out. It says Sid is worn out just like your buddy Davalos when he hired McKay, Mr. Symbieta. I don't even know what that means. Between the bowl that wouldn't end and Lobo basketball and Alfred and Nevada going into the wee hours of the morning last night, Sid can't do this anymore. I'm not young like Mr. Buck. Mr. Buck's been going hard. Yeah, it's been a long week. Super Bowl goes late on Sunday night. You don't get to catch up. Lobos play late on Tuesday night. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little tired last night too. Valentine's Day. Big ALS fashion show tonight. Big fundraiser night. What are you doing tonight? Easy early night for you?
Lobo Talk tonight.
Oh, you got Lobo. JJ's hosting Lobo Talk right here on the Sports Animal. What do you got?
Yeah, 6 to 7. It's a special edition of Lobo Talk. It's kind of like get to know your women's basketball team. We're going to have 4 players out there. Some great assistants. Mackenzie Novak first year is awesome. So much energy. Isaiah Fernandez. So I'm excited, man. We're going to have some great conversation, have a fun time tonight.
And you can
Lobo Talk at Buffalo Wild Wings on Gibson.
Yeah, go join JJ if you'd like and go have a good time out there. Frank, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Frank.
Hey, good morning, guys. Jeff, sad day in Kansas City. It's hard to hear about that, but I have something that's been bugging about the Super Bowl. I seen the Kelsey incident, but I thought maybe that was anger management class there for him. And then on the Reed scene, was he wide open, game over, or what happened with that argument? I wonder if he's even going to have a job next year.
Wait. What are we talking about? What are you asking?
When Holmes and Reed were running on the sideline when he threw that pass to Kelsey, and then he was wide open. I think something happened there with the Reed, number 4.
Oh, with Rashee Rice.
Right.
Okay, different dude. So when Mahomes and Rashee Rice got into it?
Yeah, they were running down the sideline like he threw the ball to Kelsey, and then he was wide open. I think game was over.
Yeah, so that was with 9 seconds to go in regulation. And Rashee Rice got open down the middle of the field. And the replay shows, if Mahomes would have looked that way, hits him, he probably walks in for the game winner. But Mahomes is going to Kelsey and tried the back shoulder throw, and he was covered, and they ended up kicking the field goal. And obviously, Rashee Rice must have said something to Mahomes. However it is, he said that. And yeah, they got into a little shouting match.
Okay, one more thing. Do you remember after the game-winning touchdown, they asked Mahomes what he called in the huddle?
Yeah.
The play?
Corn dog.
Did he say corn dog? Yeah. If I owned a corn dog company, wouldn't you jump on that?
Damn right. I don't know if there's a corn dog company, but Derwiener Schnitzel probably sells corn dogs or something. But yeah. If anybody just sells corn dogs, they're probably going broke. All right, man. Thanks. Is there a corn dog company?
I'm sure there is. I didn't expect to go down this road.
Well, it's a good call, though.
County Fair, I think, sells them.
All right, but if you're like, I don't know, Derwiener Schnitzel, aren't you all of a sudden, let's corn dogs, man. Let's run a deal on corn dogs. We're going into the spring. call Mahomes, and here's the campaign. All right, guys, we're getting biggest play of the year, biggest play. Corn dog on 2. Ready? All right, corn dog, and then you're selling corn dogs.
Sonic. Yeah, they're selling corn dogs.
Sell the hell out of corn dogs.
Yeah.
You like corn dogs? I've never gotten into the corn dog.
I don't hate them. It's if I'm at a fair or something like that, I might consider it.
I think it's the consistency of the cornmeal or whatever it is that's wrapped around my hot dog on a stick. I'm not a big food on a stick guy. I'm just not. I even on a kebab, I kind of like take them off and I don't. I mean, nothing against it if you are. It's just not my thing.
I definitely remove anything on a kebab, so I'm with you on that. You know what?
Popsicles though? I mean, popsicles are good.
I don't really do popsicles.
They're hard though, huh? You know what I found? We found this recently. Well, not recently. In the last few years, there's like it's a store brand, a root beer float popsicle. So it's
awesome.
like vanilla ice cream in the middle with like a root beer flavored popsicle. It's gooder than believe.
Sounds like a Bluebell type thing. Blue Bunny. Something.
Yeah, no, it's a store brand. Popsicles are good, but other than that, I'm not a big food on a stick guy. I don't know. The corn dog thing's just never been my thing. I know people love it.
At the at Lollapalooza one year, they had the Chicago Food Festival or whatever.
Yeah.
They had these lobster rolls on a stick that were pretty awesome.
Ooh, all right. But did you eat it on the stick or did you take it off?
I was walking around the festival, so
you probably leave it on the stick.
I think I did. Yeah.
I guess it makes sense when you're walking around and put it on a stick. Yeah. You like food on a stick? You like corn dogs? I'll bet you like corn dogs.
I don't eat hot dogs.
You don't. So you probably don't like corn dogs. Then never mind.
The corn dog, I'm eating it for like cornbread as opposed to the hot dog.
Yeah, I just never been. Mustard? What do you put on it? Like what goes on a corn dog? Ketchup? Mustard? Wow. Then people lose their mind if you put ketchup on a hot dog.
You just opened.
People lose their bleeping minds if you put ketchup on a hot dog. And I'm like, why do you care what I put on my dog? You can't do that. Yeah, no, I can. I put ketchup, mustard, and relish on a hot, like a regular dog.
I see nothing wrong with that.
And I love me some kraut on like a sausage dog, one of those. But a regular hot dog, I put ketchup, mustard, relish. That's how I like it. Oh, you can't. No, I can. And you kind of do your thing, and if you just yellow mustard, that's all you're allowed to. No. But I've heard more animated arguments about that than probably any other food. Gopher says corn dog. Jeff, isn't the next commercial Jake from State Farm using the championship belt? Or insuring the championship belt? Yeah, probably. Or insuring the corn dogs. I got a corn dog collection. Jake from State Farm. These are my favorite corn dogs. I don't know. But it's a good call. Good call. Don't tell me how to eat my corn dog or my hot dog or anything else. Eat yours the way you like it. I honestly don't care. You like to dip your Snickers bar in Sprite, go ahead and do it.
Eat it with a fork and knife. It's all good.
Ooh, where's that from?
Seinfeld.
That's what it's from. It's so damn funny. Yeah, remember that. Hey, tomorrow, right about now, Kenny Thomas will be here. Don't forget, Kicking It with Kenny. Former Lobo great. We'll get into the big victory over Nevada on Tuesday past and look ahead to the big game tomorrow night. Lobos in San Diego taking on the Aztecs in Viejas. So Kenny Thomas will be with us tomorrow, Kicking It with Kenny, right here on the Sports Animal. When we get back, what is the impact of Tiger? Does golf season start for you today? Are you going to kind of check out the Genesis at Riviera because that dude is playing? And will he make it to the weekend? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Every year in March.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, this was yesterday here on the Sports Animal, right about 24 hours ago. Richard Pitino, Lobo head coach, I asked him directly, what does he know about Donovan Dent? So this is a 24-hour-old answer, so I don't know how he responded yesterday. This is what Richard Pitino told us yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't seen him this morning. We took him to get an x-ray just to be precautionary. It's nothing long term by any means. We'll kind of revisit and see how he is the next 2 days for San Diego State, but knock on wood, it's nothing serious besides an ankle sprain. How severe it is, it's hard to tell until you see all the swelling and stuff. But fortunately, the x-ray looked good.
All right, so that's where it was. I think that was certainly good news. Now, what does it mean, outside of an x-ray? We'll see. That's the latest I've heard from anything on that.
Starting point guard has a sprained ankle.
And you got to go play the team you're tied for second place. So that's where that is. All right. Also in Southern California today, Tiger Woods, y'all. 48-year-old Tiger Woods will make his first start in an official PGA tournament in more than 10 months. It will be his first competitive rounds since he finished 18th in a 20-man field at the Hero World Challenge. It's an unofficial event. That was in December in the Bahamas. His most recent start in an official PGA Tour tournament came at the Masters 11 months ago. He made the cut, then pulled out of the 2023 season's first major. Remember, it was weather-delayed third round. He had a lot of pain in his right ankle and his foot. I mean, let's not forget that whole foot was basically re-put back together, reconstructed. I'm going to tell you what I expect. I expect a lot of coverage. I expect to see Tigers every shot if I want to. I think it's going to be the first time in his pro career that he's not in Nike. He'll be in his Sunday red apparel. I don't expect much out of him. I expect a lot of fanfare. I expect a lot of the interest. I expect to watch. But I would figure, of course, that he knows so well. I'm going to say first round. I'm going to say +2. And I think that would be pretty good. 2 over par.
I'm not expecting to see Tiger Woods play this weekend. I'm always interested in Tiger, man. It's one of the best golfers to ever play the game. This is a sport that you can still try to be competitive. The older you get, everything he's gone through to just be on a golf course at this point in time is fantastic. And yeah, I think he'll be over par, but it will be fun to see him back on the course.
What are you expecting?
What am I expecting? That's a good question. I don't think Tiger Woods comes out unless he's ready to play. So I think I think
that's always right.
I think he's going to be competitive. What that actually means, it might just be, at or around even. But there's a part of me that's like, he could win this. It's Tiger.
He can't win.
I'm just saying, the fan in me always thinks Tiger has a chance.
Yeah,
that's why you're tuning in.
But you're right about that.
The whole thing, of course, in his head, he thinks he can play. That doesn't mean he's going to.
So it's going to interest me to see how he is in a month from now. I guess it's 2 months from now. At the Masters. Can he compete at the Masters? And the answer is probably no. I mean, he's still that dude. There's still something there. At 48, can he compete with these 20-somethings who are hitting the ball a mile, who are the best in the world, that are playing every week? And there's something to play in every week. There's something to repetition. There's something to be playing to be a pro. I look at some of these prop bets that you just gave me, and I'm not. There's not many that I like. Like round 1 to make 3 or more birdies. That's the okay. -280. How about round 1 to make 4 or more birdies? So basically, and that's +100. So the over/under on birdies is 3.5. Would you go over or under 3.5 birdies that he'll make today? I'll probably take more than 3.5 birdies on 18 holes. Yeah, I'll take that.
This is kind of where we get into the whole do the opposite thing, because my instant gut reaction is take the over on everything.
Okay. Which means I think he's going to have a bunch of bogeys too. Right? Is he going to be bogey free on 10 through 18? No. I think there's going to be a blow up hole. Tiger's going to get himself in trouble somewhere and take a 7 or an 8. And that's where I think the score is going to swell. But I'm watching, man. I'm watching. The over under on his round 1 to make 7+ birdies or better. No way. To shoot a 70.5 in all 4 rounds. That means, will he shoot? There's no way he's not going to be over par. And by the way, that's a really tough golf course. Like, the winner's going to be at about 12. In 4 rounds, it's going to be 12 under. But I'm watching, aren't you?
Of course.
Time's his damn tee time.
10:25 today.
Is that what? Thank you. Is it on ESPN Plus or is it on Golf Channel?
No, it's a channel I'm not familiar with. I believe it probably is affiliated.
It says watch on ESPN Plus.
Oh, it's okay. Excellent. Even better.
What do you got?
Right now I'm looking up Jack Nicklaus, to be honest, because I was thinking about the run he made in his late 50s. But yeah, let me do some more research here.
10:25. He's going out with Gary Woodland and he's playing with Justin Thomas. Yeah. All right, it's great. Leaders on the golf course, by the way. Charlie Hoffman's already out -2 after 4 holes, and Ben Griffin. But you got a really good field this week. Not all your big dogs, but a lot of your big dogs are there. Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay's playing. Justin Thomas is playing. I'm watching. I'm in this week. Did you watch any of the Waste Management last week? Rory's in the field this week. Wyndham Clark's in the field this week. Did you watch any last week?
Not live. Of course, you saw everything with the partying too hard and people getting in trouble and suspending play, I guess. But,
this is why we can't have nice.
They took it up a big notch this year, it seemed.
Yeah.
A lot of great costumes.
Isn't that what Live Golf wants to be?
Just every single week, yeah. Yeah, every single week. I've said this, and you and I have had this conversation. I've been to the 16th hole. I loved it. There is nothing in sports that compares to that. And there's golf created something there that really, can you give me one event in any other sport that is absolutely unlike everything else? Meaning, can you go to a baseball park? Is there an atmosphere that's unlike every other baseball or stadium? Or there isn't, right? Golf took this one event and that one golf tournament, and especially that one hole. They built an 18,000 seat stadium around one hole. It is unlike anything else in that entire sport. Shh, quiet. This one just yell and scream, right? Which is, I mean, think about the genius and the creativity around that and how it became that. There's nothing comparable, is there?
That one event is tough. You'd be, wow, I guess Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah, but it's still a damn football game. It's just a football game on steroids with a big crowd and a big halftime show. But it's still a football game. I mean, it's still the same conduct, the same thing. It's unlike anything else in that sport, and in reality, I mean, the interaction is almost like, so the uniqueness. Years ago, Oakley invited me out, and they had a suite right in the middle, up on the third story. It was awesome. They give you a badge. It's all you can do to yourself, and then you get to walk the grounds. It was wonderful. And then I watch it every year. What it's become. Did they go out and ruin it? I mean, did the idiots go out and ruin this event? Because they're going to have drastic changes next year.
I think they'll just reset to what it was.
How do you reel that in?
By saying, hey, you can do this on the 16th. You can have some fun.
But nowhere else.
But
yeah. No snow angels in the sand traps?
Yeah, the fraternities need to get their guys in order. That
was it a bunch of frat boys? Is that what it was?
I know the snow angel was. But yeah. That's an embarrassment to your house, man. You got to get it together.
It's an embarrassment to your house, man. Figure it out. All right, good field. Xander Schauffele, Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, Ricky Fowler. A lot of big names are playing. Hideki Matsuyama's there. Tony Finau, Jason Day. So good field at Riviera today. The Genesis is underway, and Tiger Woods, y'all, will tee up at 10:25. And yeah, I know you're going to glimpse. There's only so much news I can watch in the office. By Thursday, let me watch a little golf. Let me put it on. 505-246-0610. I know you're watching too. And I'll give you the updates as we get them. Not watching that Tiger Woods crap. Watching the Tide go in and out would be better. Okay. All right. You don't have to watch it. Well, I mean, I'd like to, honestly, if I could watch the Tide go in and out or watch Tiger Day, I'd probably sit on the beach and watch the Tide go in and out. That actually,
if you got the toes in the sand,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I take
got
that.
the toes in the sand. I got a drink in my hand. All I need.
That's sitting pretty. Absolutely. That's Kenny Chesney, right?
That's Van Halen. Oh. That was. I got a drink in my hand. I got my toes in my sand. All I need is my woman.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you got me on that one.
That's Van Halen.
But either way, I'd take that over watching golf.
Yeah, all right.
Or what I do is I pull out my phone
and watch Tiger with my toes in the sand. But yeah, I'll watch the Tide go in and out. That'd be really cool. I'm not arguing with you. This one says 2 Hands Gourmet Corn Dogs on Manal and San Mateo will change your mind. All right, Manal and San Mateo, 2 Hands Gourmet Corn Dog. I'm in. Want to go lunch?
I drive by there on my way home.
Do you?
I believe I do.
You in?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. Ketchup on a hot dog. Where are you from? Wisconsin? Is that what they do there?
They put cheese on the hot dog out there.
Put cheese on everything, man. I ketchup, mustard, and relish. That's how I. Probably a little like 2-to-1 mustard to ketchup, but yeah, I do.
I did try that the new one out there at the University Stadium, and they had the bacon wrapped with like the glazed donut style. That was pretty unique. And I was corrected. I dipped it into a queso, not a cheese sauce.
Oh, that's right. It's queso. Yeah, it's not cheese sauce here. What are you from, Wisconsin?
Apparently, I guess so. But yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I got. When we get back, everything you need to know as you go through your Thursday. I got 3 Tiger Woods emails. That's how he moves the needle. From in the last 10 minutes, he still moves the needle. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal.
All right, lots going on, and it'll be an interesting day, man. We opened up the show talking about what happened in Kansas City, and I think we'll hear a lot more today about what happened at the parade and the shooting and motives and more. And there'll be a lot of conversation on it. We're here if you want to have that conversation at 505-246-0610. You also spend part of the day eating corn dogs. What was the place, the corn dog place I'm supposed to go to? What's
Two Hands Corn Dogs.
And what do I put on the corn dog? Like, have you looked at the menu already?
Yes, this would not be for the loyalist to mustard. That's for sure.
All right.
It's Korean style. It looks awesome.
Text line says ketchup and mustard on dogs are still the best. That's from Chris, Three Brothers Glass. What does that mean? The challenge tide washing wise is to get close to the water while avoiding the huge approaching wall of water inflow. Of course, the marketing spinning genius would turn tide washing in Tiger Woods crap into promotion of Torrey Pines Golf Course in good old La Jolla, California. Sure. Look, man. All right. So if you're going to tell me I'm going to sit at Torrey Pines and have a corn dog and watch Tiger while listening to some Van Halen. 2, makes the cut. 3, struggles, misses the weekend, or 4, limps off the court with an injury. All of them. What's more likely? He limps off the court with an injury, or he makes the cut? He's not walking off the court. The weather's going to be good, and he wouldn't compete if he wasn't feeling healthy. When he limped off the court of the Masters, A, it was the Masters, and B, the weather was crap. Right? And I mean, a guy with a reconstructed leg and back, and I mean, the guy's basically bionic.
The weather, you were absolutely right. That will play a part, because if he has screws and things that have been fixed in his body, when it starts to rain, it hurts.
Dude, that's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not there, but thank goodness. But I got another one on it. Jack says, with no foot in the arena, assault was the charge. 49ers fire the defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. Meanwhile, the Chiefs extended their defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. Where do I get hoops tonight? I know it's Pac-12 time and I get a Bill Walton game. That's really all that matters to me. Purdue plays Minnesota. St. Mary's plays Pepperdine. Those are your ranked games. That's what people are going to be talking about. And the Lady Lobos were winners last night. New Mexico women beat San Jose State 72-51. And what you need to know is JJ Buck is hosting Lobo Talk tonight right here on The Sports Animal. What time do you crack the mic from Buffalo Wild Wings over on Gibson?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Go join JJ for dinner.
I'm excited. Get to know the Lady Lobos. We're going to have 4 players out there.
4?
4 players.
They get dinner?
I'm sure they're going to eat some wings.
Do you get fed?
Hopefully. Because I'm hungry.
JJ's like, he works every morning and starting at 7 a.m.?
Absolutely.
All right. DC, great work today. Adrian, it looks great on the visual side. Big day for you, I know. Catch JJ at 6 o'clock tonight here with Lobo Talk. Have a great day, boys and girls. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Having a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities.